Hi everybody, this is Lucas with DiCarlo Precision Instrument, and this will be a quick tutorial on how to, or I guess how I register scans in Scene and how I tweak them and how you get the registration somewhat better. So I have a preloaded set of scans in here. Uh, I already have most of my targets identified, or pretty much all of the targets that I want to use. So you can see that they're marked in the scans here. Obviously, when you're doing it or when you do it automatically, make sure that they recognize the right diameter. Occasionally, the diameter of the spheres is wrong, but you can kind of see that it's the right outline. And I really only have two kinds of spheres loaded in my project. All right. So uh, imagine we've kind of done all of these, and they all have targets identified over here. So let me do a quick registration. We're doing target based. I really don't usually mess with the defaults over here, so I'll leave the defaults be. Hit OK. And we can see that the registration seems to have worked, but I'm a little bit turned off by the fact that even though we had plenty of targets, registration seems to be really not very accurate. And this could be, multiple reasons. Some the targets might have been moved or something got bumped, and you're usually thinking that, oh, well, this is all we can do. Well, that's not true, especially when you look at, I usually sort my targets by the distance error. And over here you can see that sphere 15 seems to be predominantly causing a lot of problems over here. And how I usually look is if I can see that one sphere repeat in a couple of these scans, I can go ahead and actually delete and remove it. So what I will do is identify that, look, there's sphere 15 and it's in scan 006. There's another 006 here, 006. There's another 006 and 006. So 15 is probably bad in scan 6, and it is a yellow. So let's just take it out of the solution. So I'll ignore it for scan placement. Odds are, again, could have been moved, could have been bumped, could have been recognized incorrectly. So let me hit apply, and you'll see it'll reprocess all of your results, and suddenly my worst tension that I have is 5/100ths of a foot. We can keep going, so let's see if 14 is in 4445. Well, there's a couple of scans that 14 is in. We have 5 and 6 apparently also. That's causing problems. So let's do this. Let's go into 4, look at sphere 14, and we'll say ignore for placing scans. Hit apply again. See if it recalculates values. Now it'll be a little bit more laborious because now you have to, they're not as clearly visible. So you don't have the same ones always causing the same kind of problem. But again, we kind of can see that 14, and the easiest way of doing it would be looking at the most common locations where 14 is. We have it in 10, we have it in 9. All right, let's see, let's change it in 5. 5 seems to be another problem spot for 14, so let's go here. Okay, apply. And we're slowly getting rid of. In 6 we have 14 apparently. Also, that's causing unnecessary problems. And you can keep going, of course. So apparently 14 is also causing relatively large errors to be reported by the registration. And we have it in scan 10, 9, but mostly 2 here. So let's go into scan number 2 and get rid of sphere number 14. All right, we're down to 400s. you really kind of don't want to see the same sphere repeating in this pattern. If I see it repeating too frequently, it typically means that it was causing some kind of an issue. Now, there is another thing that causes issues in registration, and it could be your actual sensors. Now, this is a very important part where when you do your scan manager, you can turn off your GPS and inclinometer and compass. These will only work if you have enough targets identified in your scans, and they have to be properly spaced. So this is not for everybody to actually uncheck, but let's see what happens when we uncheck these. Hit OK, see if the tensions, see if the registration actually improves somewhat. And it hasn't done a much better job, but we can still see that 14 is still causing a problem with all the sensors on or without the sensors on. So let's keep on going. We have in 3 apparently. So let's go remove 3. We still have 14 in our scan. Let's see, where is it? It's in 1. So let's do. All right. And we seem to have a sphere 10. I'm really just kind of trying to get below about 300ths. That's a centimeter. Again, of course, you would want to have these numbers as low as possible, but sometimes it might not be possible to get them much lower depending on the size of your project, of course. So let's see. We have 6, 6, 5, 6. So in 6, sphere 10. You can go too far with this, of course, when you start disconnecting or disassociating a lot of these spheres. You might actually get the results to, fail your registration, but we're not there yet. So we can still going, and you keep going. You see that there's each one of the scans has a lot of these targets that are common. So let's do sphere 10. It's in scan 5. And I think we'll stop there. And you see that now I'm below 300. I'm kind of happy. Yes, of course, I'd like it to be better, but this way I have my scan manager tensions better, mean tension being less than 100th of a foot. I'm okay with it. Typically what you want to do is view in 3D right now. Do not have the scans loaded, so it'll be blank, of course. But let's load all the scans. All right, so all the scans have been loaded, which means we can actually go and investigate a little bit if our data seems to be working. And I do hug the wall or I do hug the ground occasionally just to see if there's any kind of mismatching. Yes, you can create scan point clouds eventually that allow you to see. This kind of indicates that there was an error. This was probably one of the spheres or one of the targets that was disassociated, and you can actually see this is scan or sphere 15, which indicates that that is one of them. Now, honestly, I don't remember exactly where we disassociated it from, but we definitely took out 15 out of here. It may have been good for some scans, and this is because these targets get, left in place, and they might move. And even though everybody makes the best efforts to make sure that this doesn't happen, but the real world usually, catches up with you. But this is a nice indication of showing you, okay, we can get these results a little bit more accurately. But everything looks okay. As far as I can tell, there's way more investigating that you can actually do, but this would be like a quick tutorial on how to tweak registration and keep going and include and exclude targets. I hope this was helpful. If you have any comments or questions, uh, feel free to ask, and I'll see if I can respond to anybody who might need a little bit more extra help. All right, take care, guys.